All right, let's take a look at this question. First off, it says exponential model. So an explicit exponential model, the one that we have for our formulas, is p sub n equals p sub 0, parenthesis 1 plus r, to the parenthesis nt. Now I use parenthesis around the nt to make sure my calculator works the problem correctly. Without that, often it will give me mistakes. We don't want that. So, initial population, this is p sub 0. 14 years later, that's t. Oh, actually, I'm remembering the formula. This is n. Sorry, so that's n. I'm getting mixed up with the finance stuff coming up. Later on, that's p sub n, and we want to find r, or 1 plus r. Okay, let's see what we can do. So first off, plugging everything into the formula, we have 18,000 equals 7,600, parenthesis 1 plus r, to the exponent n is 14. Now one thing that you will see is if you want to find the rate, you'll end up using a root. Whereas if you're trying to find n, you will use an ln. Although you could use other logs, ln is the most common. Okay, so what we need to do is start solving for r. My first step, get rid of this coefficient. And I can reduce a couple zeros out of here. I know it reduces more, but I'm going to use a calculator anyway, so I don't need to do any more. But that made it a little easier to write. And we have this 1 plus r to the 14. So to solve for r, we use a root. What we need to do is we need to take the 14th root of both sides. This 14th root eliminates the 14th power. Now, how do we evaluate this? Well, we'll get to that. Let's finish. Actually, I don't need to finish anymore because I now have 1 plus r, which is one of the answers that they asked for. So now we need to pause and work on a calculator. Now, although you might not have this calculator, the keys and the keystrokes we'll use are very similar to almost all the TI calculators, which are the most common ones. That's why I choose this calculator to use. Now, the cube root of 27 is 3. The square root of 64 is 8. Let's do the cube root of 8 is 2. This would be a good one. These are just some simple facts that I hope that you know. But this way we can check the keystrokes to make sure we know how to use a cube root or an 14th root, etc. Now you might have a crazy root button like this. So 3 crazy root, not the technical name for it, of 8, cube root of 8 is 2. That button will work. But you can't do 3 and then the square root button. That doesn't work. And a lot of people try that. So we're looking for other methods of a cube root. 8 raise your exponent button, whichever one that is for you. 8 raised to the 1 divided by 3 is the technical method for finding the cube root. I like doing it this way. 8 raised to the 3 reciprocal button. That way I don't need the parenthesis and the divide. It's just 2 buttons instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons. Same result. So parenthesis 180 divided by 76, close parenthesis. This I need to have in parentheses because it's all under this 14th root. I can raise it to the 14 reciprocal and get the 14th root. This is 1 plus r, 1.064 rounded to the nearest thousandth. There's our first answer. Now to solve for r, we'd want to subtract 1 from both sides. So if I just subtract 1, now I have r. They wanted it in percentage, so I'd multiply by 100. And then they wanted to round to the nearest tenth, so first percentage, then tenth, 6.4. And that is how you would do this problem. I think the hardest thing about this problem is understanding how to find the 14th root of a number with your calculator. I hope this helps.